Hello friends. So in today's session we are going to look what are temporal tables, or they are also called as in system version tables, right? So as usual the agenda would be understanding temporal tables and then a practical demo. So first of all, what are temporal tables? Something, some basics about temporal tables. They were introduced in SQL Server 2016 and onwards. They are also known, as I told you, they are also known as a system version tables, right? Built-in support for data stored in the table at any point of time, right? Rather than only the data that is correct at the current moment in time, right? So basically, it gives the built-in support for data stored in the table at any point of time, okay? Full history of the data changes, allowing point-in-time analysis. So, you can retrieve the data at a particular specific point, okay? Uh, for temporal tables, two explicit columns of type datetime need to be used, and they are referred as a period column. So basically, with the help of this column, the active data and live data, passive data is being identified, right? Then contains reference to another table with a mirrored schema called as the history table. So basically this is, when you actually create a temporal tables, okay, it would, create a similar table, a same table with the same schema under that table itself called as the system version table. What are some scenarios where we can use this temporal tables? So basically, auditing all data changes may be required for forensics. Sometimes if that is required, then if you have not tempered the table, right? And I will show you, even you cannot delete the table itself, right? Unless and until you have proper access to delete that. So auditing all the data changes may be required for forensics, can be used for slowly changing dimensions. Okay, they can be used for slowly changing dimensions and recovering from accidental data changes and applied application errors. So sometimes it may be possible that accidentally some data is being deleted. Then immediately, simply you can recover this from your history table, because it will have the history of the creation, updation, and deletion, all the three DML operations, right? Note the time recorded in the system date time two columns are based on the begin time of the transaction itself, right? So for example, if you have a batch and if you are inserting 10 rows, right? Then for all that 10 rows, it will have the same from time, because valid from time, right? Because the time is recorded when the transaction starts, right? So if you have 10 record inserted into a particular transaction, then actually all those 10 records will have the same valid from. I will show you that, okay? And for that matter, valid 2 also, right? The same valid from time change in the single transaction, okay? So yeah, as usual, let us see something in action. Okay, so I have already created this database. Let me drop any table if it is there. No. Okay, so how to create first of all temporal table. So basically, all the schema definition remains the same until here, right? The only difference is this, as we have already discussed, that you need to create two columns, that is valid from and valid to of the time date time, right? And this is the text for temporal tables, generated always as row start, right? And generated always as row end, that is the start time and end time, okay? And period for system time. This is very important clause, period for system time, valid from valid to. This is valid from valid to. So these three are very important, which keeps the track of the row versioning. Okay, otherwise rest of the schema related to employee table remains the same. So, and one more thing is that with system versioning is equal to on, you will have to specify, if you want to create a table with a system version table, then you will have to give this clause that system versioning is equal to on. Okay, let me create this table now, and let us see how table looks like. See, you can see at the very first of all, for the normal table, you don't see this system version. So whenever you see this system version, you can see, you can assume that this is a, temporal table. And beneath that, below that, you can see it has, given some name, and it has created this history table for us. Now, the schema for both the tables would be same. So for example, this is the schema for temporary table, history table, and this is the schema for actual table, right? So you can say employee day, employee name, valid from valid to. Okay. So this way, when you say which system versioning on, so here you are not specifying any name for the table, history table. So SQL engine provides its own name like MS SQL temporal history for 581 and some number. Okay, you can create a table with if you want your own name, right? A valid or a proper with a proper naming convention, you can create a table. So here I'm creating the department table. Again, two column department ID, department name, and the same thing. But with system versioning is equal to on, and in the bracket I'm specifying history table is equal to dbo dot department history. Okay, so my table name is department and my history table name would be department history. So if you specify this table name with system versioning on, then it will create a table with that name. So this has been created. Let me refresh, and now you can see department is created with the department history table, right? Rest of the things remains the same. Similarly, you can create, you can have your own basically table first created, and then you can join that table as a history table. So here in designation history, I'm creating the designation history first of all. So when I say create table designation history, and you can see here currently designation history is here and system version is not there. And now what I'm writing create table designation with system versioning is equal to on, and my history table should be dbo dot designation history, which is already present. Okay, so when I write this, now if we refresh this, you can see that designation history has been moved under this table. Okay, so here what we had done, we had created the table first, right? And then we actually attached that table, and automatically the table which was outside of this history table, it actually came inside of this designation history table. Okay, so these are the three ways where you can create your history tables. Okay, now, as I told you, like we had one point discussed that it can be used for sometime for in the forensics matter. So let us try to delete this table. Drop table if exist employee, right? I'm trying to delete this employee table. See, it is actually providing giving me an error. Drop table operation failed on table. Let me Right. Drop table operation failed on table temporal demo.db because it is not a supported operation on system version temporal tables, right? So system version temporal tables you cannot delete in this way. Initially, to delete those, you will have to actually detach them, and then you can, delete them. So what happens when we detach them, right? So let me show you from UI also. You can see basically, there is no delete option. Okay, so let us script this, drop to, let us script this. And here you can see alter table DBO employee set system versioning is equal to off. Basically, you will have to detach this history table and then you can delete. So when I do this, alter table, and when I refresh this here, you can see now this table has been moved outside of this employee table. Okay, so now this is an, altogether its own table. Okay, so mind well when you do a system versioning of, you will have to delete that table also if you don't require it, because if you will delete only employee table, then this table would be there as it is in the database. So here you can see the scripting has been done for deleting employee table and deleting history table. Okay, so let me delete this table, and now this employee table is deleted, right? So this was related to how to create the system version table and the history table. Right, now let us see how data is being maintained. So again, I'm creating this table. Let me okay with system versioning is equal to on history table is equal to employee history. Okay, let me sorry, let me create this table. Okay, create table is created, and now I am inserting one record here, Jitendra. Okay, and let us see what happens. See, still, there is no record. Here in my main table, employee table, you can see valid from. And as I told you, it takes the current, whatever time it has been entered, and then this is, like it is assumed that this record will be valid until 9,999 years, right? So this is the, last date of this, maybe not century, but so many centuries. Okay. But there is no record in the history table. Why? Because see, temporal tables actually captures the history, change history. We have not changed anything yet now. We have simply inserted that record. So currently this record is valid from like 519 on 11/7/2022, 519 until this date. Now what I'm doing, I'm actually updating one record here. And now let us see how does this looks. Now you can see my main table contains the employee name as Rakesh. So we have updated from Jitendra to Rakesh, right? Now this record, you can see, now this record was valid until 520 and the new record now starts valid, its validity start from 520 till the end of this, 999. And you can see here our earlier record was 599, 519 to 520. Now, if I again change this record, okay, and let us see. So now this is Minesh, and my next record is valid from 520. So it was valid, from 520 to 521. And now this is again the same value 521 to same. So you can actually, get the full history of changes also. So you can see when, until what time Jitendra was active, then until what time Rakesh was active, and until what time this Minesh would be active. Got the point? Now let me delete the record from this history table and now you can see employee table would not contain any record but you can see here all these records. And now the validity also now here you can see this is not 999 because we have already deleted record, right? So the validity of this Minesh was from 521 uh, 52102 to 52133. Okay, so this way basically temporal tables keep the track of the records and then you can actually retrieve the records whenever required at point in time. Let us see when I say point in time, what does that mean? Let me again run this. Okay, so we have deleted the time, employee table. Again, I'm creating this employee table here. If you can see, there is nothing, and now I'm inserting so many records. Now here you can see in a one go, in one transaction, I'm actually inserting 7 records. Okay, and now if you see, there is okay. So now if you can see here, let me what happened? Oh, okay. Our that table does not. I think give me a second. We will have to do it again because I found some records there. Right now, let me create this table again. Okay, and we have anything into this? No, and then history. Okay, and now if I say, so you can see here, and as I told you, right, all the 7 records were the part of single transaction. So you can see that from and valid until to are the same. So as we told that it takes the start time of the transaction, and within that transaction, whatever record DML operations are done will have the same valid from. Okay, so you can see here 523 the same time for all these records. Okay, now let us do some, perform some DML operations. So initially I'm updating some records and I am deleting some records. Okay, and now let us see. So we have no, I have updated a record for employee ID 1, Jitendra change, or also for Rajesh change, right? So earlier record was Jitendra, now it has changed to Jitendra change, Rajesh, and then I actually removed employee number 7, that is Chirayu record. Okay, already. So now there are some records with different timings here. You can see here, right? Okay, I think I had to do, this again because you can see as I uh, uh, done immediately, it has, taken the same time. So let me do this again. Give me a second. Okay, I think, and we will have to wait for those records to be changed. Okay, so here, right, and now let me do first this. So this was part of one transaction. Let us wait for some seconds or a minute, something like that. right? Okay. Right, and then let us wait here for some time, and then there are, five ways to, get your records for, at point in time. Okay, so one is using all, so you can get all the records. Then as of, the second keyword is as of. Then you can have from, to, okay, and then you will have between, and then you will have a content. I will show you everything. Okay, now let us update one more record here, and then we will see how these five options work for us. We might have to change these dates. Okay, so let us do one more. Delete, right? Execute. So now this should have a different timings here for updates and changes. So you can see here, right? There are different timings here. All the timings are different. Okay, still, yeah, this would be the same, but these timings are different. Okay. So now, as I told you, let us see what do you mean by all. So when we say all, select star from employee. Now here you can see, right? Though we have an history table, we are never, mentioning any history table here. Everything is coming from employee itself. So basically, internally it joins with the history table to get the records. Okay. Some of the records might not be there in the employee table itself. Okay. So when I say system time all, it will actually show me all the records. All the records means you can see here, it is showing me the change record also. So these are coming from my history table. If you can see here, they are not. Let me actually do this three tables at a time, and let me show you. So you can see here, current in employee table, there are only six records, and this 137 are in the history table records. But you can see here until 6 and 137, right? So when I say system time all, it will actually fetch all the record that is from employee table plus employee history table. All the records are being changed, right? Then then as of, when we say as of, that means that valid from is less than equal to whatever date time we have specified, single date time, and valid to should be greater than that date time. Okay, so let us say we want valid from should be valid from is less than date time. So let me get this record here, and let us paste and let us see how many records are coming. Okay, so you can see here 1 2 3 4 5 6, 1 2 3 4 5 6, and one in out of 137 it is getting me only 3 and 7. Why? As it, so now you can see valid from and to. Okay, so this was valid from less than date time, so 11 7 2022, and then 5 24 43. Okay, so why this record was not generated? Because 524 43 and greater than. Okay, so this was basically we should have the record greater than. So see, you can see here these both are greater than valid to. So and valid to should be greater than date time. So whatever date time you have specified, see all these records are less than this date time. Okay, but this record was equal to, okay, this record was equal to this time, so and hence this record was not actually captured in our valid this as of, right, and 525 and 25 they are actually greater than from this time. Got the point? Similarly, from and to. Now this this would be very simple. So if I say I want record from this to maybe this. Okay, so let us see how many records are there. See only, so valid from 52443, so they are all valid from 52443, right? So this would be what from to is valid from less than at time and greater than. Okay, and you can see here, right? Similarly, we can say between. Now between works, this was, see, from to works less than equal to. Now between works same way, but valid from less than equal to and date time, and valid to greater than start date time. This is very important. See, this is end date time and this is start date time. right? Okay, so let me again copy this value from here to here and maybe any record from start date time. So this would be start date time and let us see. See only 1, 2, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? Both the one didn't came. Why? Because valid from is less than equal to end date time. End date time we specified 11, 7, 5, 24, 43. Okay. So 11, 11 5, 24, 43. No, valid from should be end date time. So this would be his end date time. This is not less than equal to, right? And this is also 5, 24, 43, 34, but it should be, so this is also not there. Okay, right? And this is right 11, 7, 22, 5, 24, 37. So similarly, you can see valid to greater than start date time. So these all records are valid to greater than start date time, right? Similarly, you can specify content. Now, content means what? Valid from should be greater than equal to whatever date time you have specified, and valid to should be less than equal to this date time. So again, let me paste this here and let this be like this only. And you can see only two records because valid from should be greater than equal to start date time. Start date time we have specified 2443, right? 2443, 52443. So uh, valid from greater than, yeah. So 52443, you can see here, this is not there. Only I think this one is there and three is there. Rest are all greater than. Okay, and hence you can see only two records, right? So this way, this way you can use this five function to get the records in point in time where whatever you want. Basically you can actually do more practice on this function, uh, and I would paste this in description box related to all of the function and their criteria, and you can make a practice of this using those function to understand how the records are retrieved from the employee and employee history table. Okay, right? So hope you have enjoyed this video, guys, and as usual, please subscribe to my channel and please press the like button. I'm not seeing much likes happening to my videos. If you want something to be changed, please let me know so that I can change my style or the way I'm delivering these videos. Right. So yeah, that's all for today. Meet you with next good topic in my next video. Till then, bye. Take care.